explain my content to you. Oh, and you can understand well. That's kind of good. Today I'll give the presentation about the naturalness of dog food. I think this topic will be interesting, especially for the dog owners. Who are owning a dog at home now? Oh, okay, great. And do you know there are how many types of dog food now in current market? That's right. Okay, I'll explain later. And the naturalness of dog food, I'll explain something about domesticated from wolf to dog, especially the food change from about 1,000 years later, 1,000 years ago till now. My presentation consists 4 parts. 1, material and method. The second, results, discussion, and conclusion. First, I will introduce something about the wolf diet. The wolf diet is mainly based on prey, like deer, moose, horse, and just a little bit vegetation and fruits, like berries, apples, pears. I have to say the wolves only eat vegetation and fruits. Even they are starved or they cannot pray for the raw materials like the animals of deer, moose, and wolves. And then the wolf diet changes according to the seasons. In winter, especially in mid and late winter, they eat about 80% ungulates. That's because in winter the animals are suffering from the starving, and maybe the snow is too deep, that making them it's easier to be killed. And then you can see from the table, the wolves eat more muscles, heart, livers, lungs, spleen, kidneys, extra. It's more about the internal organs, and maybe they are more fruity or palatable of these tissues. And then what's on the market? That's what I said before. There are mainly two types of dog food. One is more like so-called natural dog food. The other one is more like the concentrate or compound food. In natural dog food, they contain chicken, turkey, potatoes, carrots, eggs, and with some vegetables and fruits. That's all raw materials. But in the compound food, I have to say, they only contain corn, soybean, and some grains without any vegetables and fruits. That's some processed feed. That's the difference. And then there's a diagram about the nutrient composition for dry, white, and fresh food. I want to explain the dry food, white food, and fresh food at first. Dry food is, for example, the kibbles that I think you can always see from the market now. And white food is something like the canned food with a high moisture content, maybe with a high oil content also. And the fresh food is what we said, the natural dog food. And we can see from the diagram, for the crude protein, the white food contains crude protein most, because the white food and the dry food are artificial dog food, and the protein is very good for dogs' health, and dogs maybe the physiology need like this. So people always add a lot of protein into the dog food. So the wet food have a high protein content, and fat opposite. The fat content is lower than the fresh food because fat we know that fat can result in the dog's obesity. So the fat content is lower than the fresh food. The fiber, these three kinds of dog food are similar. And for the fatty acid, these two kinds of fatty acid, omega-6 and omega-3. Also, the artificial dog food contains a little bit, but in fresh food, there's no fatty acid in it. And then I want to show the comparison about the dry food and the fresh meat. You can see the protein content in dry food is much lower than the fresh meat. I think that's logical. And then we compare the wolf diet with the dry food. You can see it's much lower than the wolf diet because wolf eats more raw materials with raw meats that contains a lot of protein. And these are also lower than the wolf diet. But we can also see this brand have the highest protein content. So we can say, this brand maybe maybe has a better quality of dog food, but we cannot say this is the best dog food because other nutrition values are also very important for dogs. And then the arguments. I have searched some scientific evidence for some products claims. These are some product claims in the current market. The first three with scientific proof, but the last one without. We can say ancestral canine diet contains 95% raw meat, organs, and bone, and 5% fruit and vegetables. It's like what I said before for the wolf diet. They eat a lot of raw meat, but only a little bit fruit and vegetables. And second one, if good quality raw materials are used, complicated diet regimes and extensive specialized diets are not necessary. Obviously, raw materials with good quality is always important for not only for dog food, but also for maybe for any other animals. And the third one, dogs should be changed from cooked diet to raw food very slowly because dogs need the time to adapt to new food. And last one, if bones are being fed, it should be given raw. The bones, according to my background knowledge, if bones are heating, the protein structure may be destroyed. So that's why the claim will be here. But you can see without scientific proof, I didn't find any scientific evidence to support this claim. And the last conclusion, all natural diets contain less protein than the wolf diet, like what I said before. And fresh meat diet resembles the diet of wolf best because it consists a lot of raw materials. And the third one, quality of the raw materials is most important, not the price, not the reputation of the brand. The quality always the most important.